is our concept of exercise is so distorted while doing hard physical activity and exercising is good, the most critical thing that you need to do for your good health is move. And that is strictly every 10 minutes, I literally stand up from my desk. And I don't mean go march in place or do anything. I'm talking get up from my chair, walk over to the copier, and get up and come back and sit back down. Oh, that's another little thing I did. I moved my copier to the other side of my office.
Oh, so now you have to walk over there.
Yeah, so now my printer's on the other side. Do you know how many times you set up your office and you put your printer on the desk behind you so you can just twirl around and get it off the printer? No! Put it on the other side of the office.
Get up and move.
Get up and move. Yep. In fact, anytime, if you're wanting to improve your health with just very little effort, move. I even do things like when I do my smoothie in the morning, a lot of people buy these, you can spend $500 on a Vitamix or get a very expensive, and those are good. I have one. It's nice. But to mix my smoothie in the morning, I've got a shaker bottle, and I put my protein powder and my milk and put some ice cubes in that shaker bottle, and I stand at the sink, and I shake that bottle until I can't hear the ice anymore.
Oh, that's a great way to keep moving in the morning without really, quote unquote, having an exercise routine.
Yep. So doing things like that. I mean, if nothing else, get a shaker and shake it. I mean, shake it with your right hand, shake it with your left hand. And you'll be amazed. Doing some things like that can get you on the road to good health.
So how are you doing now with, the condition the neurological condition that you have? What are the doctors saying? There is no quote remission. I'm doing great, actually. And I follow the doctors think, I am a conundrum to most doctors because when I stand there and tell them I'm not on any prednisone, I am not on a single prescription medication. And I handle it all with nutrition. And I cannot express to people the importance of find out if you have any type of medical condition, learn what your body says to you. And that's the other thing that I really had to learn, what my limits are, that with my neurological condition, I cannot do high-intensity exercises. I just can't do them. But it doesn't keep me from moving. And sometimes I might have a bad day that I'll get up and I might have a little bit of a problem with my gait somewhat. I also try to keep in shape, and the other reason why losing the weight has helped, I'm also very prone to a fall. So at least now when I fall, I don't really hurt myself. And basically, doctors
I work real hard at trying to stay flexible and doing some things like that.
And the doctors couldn't help you because, unfortunately, in all the years of their practice, I think they get like one nutrition class.
And they probably slept through that. And we do need, don't get me wrong, we do need doctors, but yes, they are here to diagnose disease. I have a twin sister. She is a cancer survivor.
Karen.
What changed her life was when she went to the oncologist after doing chemotherapy and her asking him, what do I need to do? And he said, well, nothing, just eat a good diet. Okay. You have just destroyed my complete immune system, and you're telling me I just need to eat a decent diet. That we really have to get our doctors more in tune with what good health is, what good nutrition is, and our bodies are a miracle. Karen and I, we work together. We kid people. You know how you ask your body to be in good health? What happens to most people, your body responds and says, give me something to work with.
Oh, yes,
So
I agree.
if you give your body what it needs, it can do miraculous things. I admire you because I'm telling you, people with thyroid problems, they're kind of at the front of the line to say, I can't help it. I've got thyroid trouble.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. The first couple years, it was actually frustrating because I was looking to my doctors to help me because I never smoke, I don't drink. My mom always told me if you want to take care of yourself and age naturally, when you get tired, take you behind the bed, and that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
If I was tired, I went to bed. I wasn't worried about it being 9 o'clock. If I was tired, I'm going to lay down and give my body rest. So when that happened to me, I was frustrated because at the time I really wasn't overweight. I mean, there was really no triggers that the medical field would look at, but nobody had any answers for me. So, at first I was just frustrated and I really didn't change anything and nobody can give me any answers. And probably around the time my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and what I have found really interesting was she had went to the Breast Cancer Center for America, and I found it interesting that the very first visit, they didn't deal with any of her medications. They didn't deal with any chemo. They wasn't talking to her about any medications or anything. They talked to her about avoiding toxins in her food, what to eat and how to eat. And I was amazed because I thought, well, why do a woman have to be behind an 8-ball? Because once you already have cancer and your body's already compromised, you're trying to struggle now to even get back up to just being a level. But I'm thinking if we knew this beforehand, this is something that she could have did that might have, were giving her more of a stronger immunity, if nothing else. But then we kind of deal with stuff after the fact. So the good thing was they was talking to her about it. But like I said, she was already diagnosed and her body was already compromised. And that is when I started looking into green living, non-toxin, pesticides. And I was amazed at how many studies I found that linked the pesticides and stuff directly to so many things like breast cancer, autism, things that we see and going on a rise, 600% for autism. Breast cancer is becoming an epidemic. Even healthy women with no family history. But when I was doing my research, unfortunately, if you're waiting for corporate America to catch up, is not their concern. And the truth of the matter is healthcare, only in America, around the world, they're more preventative. But in America, it's all about treating the symptoms, and they never really treat the cause. And that's another reason why medical conditions gets worse. Well, what happens is you mentally start thinking, this is what's supposed to, this is just what happens. This is what I'm seeing around, women, around me. But the truth of the matter is no, because you're right. If we give our body proper nutrition, the body is really created to heal itself. That's why we rejuvenate cells every day. And, I'm not saying if you, fell and hurt and broke your arm, don't go to the doctor. By all means, take your butt to the doctor. But when it comes to living a healthy life and being strong, having energy, because one thing I found myself too is I was tired all the time. As soon as I got up, I was dragging. I wasn't really productive. I wasn't thinking very, very clearly because you're always kind of dragging. So there's so many reasons by being healthy. And it's not really a certain size. It's about just being healthy. And that's when you want to wake up and feel 150%. And you can do that at 100. There's no reason for you not to feel 150% when you get out that bed.
You're exactly right. I totally agree with absolutely everything you just said, Yolanda. And see, one of the things that just drives me crazy with the, quote, medical community is that when they have all these women with cancer, they do not talk about environmental causes. And people don't realize, did you know stay-at-home mothers are actually more at risk for breast cancer because of the higher exposure to cleaning fluids? Stay-at-home moms clean more than people that are at work. And our household cleaners are affecting us. Our yards are, it just goes on and on about how our chemical overload is off the charts. And now I'm actually even involved right now in what's called a sister study. And it's because I have a twin sister that had breast cancer. And I didn't get it. And
she and I often sit there and say, huh? Why did she get it and I didn't? We are totally convinced it was environmental. It was because of some of the things she had. She's a clean freak. She cleaned her house constantly with Clorox and doing some things like that. And the amount of pesticides, they kept a very clean yard. They did not have a weed in their yard. And
wow.
We don't talk about that sort of thing. And I totally agree that why aren't we looking more at autism? But it kind of takes me to what we are really doing now, and that is Karen and I are joined together, and we are literally taking a battle against obesity because we think of all the things to get people's attention is to raise awareness. This obesity thing needs to be addressed because the obesity can be tracked back to so many diseases. Everybody, the doctors are treating high cholesterol, high blood pressure. The diabetes is off the charts for everyone, and you can track it back to obesity, but taking the obesity, it's not just a question of what you weigh on the scale. It's what you're eating. And how many people that we talk to, one of the things that drives us crazy, you'll talk to a person and ask them about water or something.
Okay.
When's the world going to wise up about diet soda?
You know what? It's funny because I'm not really a big soda person, but once in a while you just want that carbonation. I'm not going to lie. And my husband and I, what we do is he'd watch a lot of the cooking stations. He's gotten older and he loves cooking now, so I'm not complaining. Not at all. But
don't stop that.
Exactly. But one thing we have started doing, so when we do have that craving, because I think the minute you say you're not going to do something at all, I think that's when you actually kind of go overboard. But we actually do salsa water. It has the fizz.
Of course.
Is a lot more, don't have all the dyes and stuff. And then if you do want some taste and flavor, I don't buy the ones that has it because I think that's artificial. But you can cut up a lime, just like you said, and throw it in that salsa water. And it gives you that little bit of carbonation that you sometimes crave. And you're not sucking down all that sugar. And I was just looking at the news the other day, and it's that caramel something addition that now may lead to cancer or be cancer causing. And it just so much other things inside of these products.
Right. Well, in the artificial sweeteners, I really do believe aspartame and some of those things are literally damaging us in ways that we cannot even think of. And you also made a very good point. I'm the same way. It's all about finding a balance. It's not standing there and saying, I am never going to have another piece of dark chocolate again. What? No.
Yeah, that won't last.
Yeah, it won't. It just won't. The other thing that I did change, too, that I'm trying to come up with a better way to approach. Even telling yourself, I'm going to eat healthy for a week, and then these people that say they want to have a cheat day, I'm trying to convince people that doesn't make sense. You're telling yourself you're going to treat yourself by eating poison food. Okay, let's find a better way to do that. That, just find balance in there. Don't eat healthy for a week and then say, oh, now we can have a day I can eat whatever I want, all that I want. Well, that just doesn't make sense.
That's because we feel like we're depriving ourselves because we have, if you think about the marketing techniques for foods, because, sometimes you look at that show and it's like 8 commercials and they're all showing you this delicious burger dripping. And the funny part is we eat with our eyes. And the reason I said that because when I first had started eating more fruit, vegetables, unprocessed nuts and things like that, my kids was like, oh, Mom, your stuff is so bland. But it wasn't. I was actually tasting the flavors of the foods. And then my husband had cooked chicken one night. We do get the organic chicken because of the antibiotics. And the funny part was I realized how flavorless meats are. Like, you know what I mean? Like all of a sudden I was like, it doesn't have that little tang that your tomatoes will have. It's not the peppers. You don't have the nuts. And I realized that a lot of the foods that we eat, especially when you're not eating, whole foods, doesn't really have a lot of flavor, but because we see